Bonjour, hi, Liber.
Bonjour, hi, everybody.
As you can see, today the episode will be fully in English because we have a special guest tonight. It's Dominique Wang, and you probably know her by Espace, Baila con Gusto, and La Onda. But today we're going to talk more about the entrepreneur.
Definitely, because for us, it was very important to have this discussion with someone that is successful in the Latin dance scene, but without showcasing the teacher side of it or the artist, the dancer. We really want to show that there's other ways to be successful in the Latin dancing, and I think Dom is the perfect example. She's an entrepreneur, very successful with a lot of businesses, and today we're gonna go a little bit deeper on the details of how she created those businesses.
Some secrets too.
Some secrets, definitely a lot of information today, and I hope you will enjoy it.
Enjoy the episode.
Enjoy the episode.
Hi, Dom.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Oh my God, we are happy to have you today.
We are extremely happy to have you.
So
And
first thing first.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
So we promised Dom some wine, but since it's a bit early today, we decided to do mimosa instead.
That's time appropriate, especially after Gusto.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
Yes,
job,
because
Ame.
we went to Gusto last
I
night.
know. I was giving a class yesterday.
Yes.
It's your 6-year anniversary.
At
Yes,
Gusto.
with Kevin.
With Kevin.
Because
Yeah,
we
not the
started-
other guy, with Kevin.
But Gusto, it's been like how many years now?
It's been 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh.
It's been 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna have the opportunity to talk about Gusto a little bit later. We really want to know like the history behind it. We're
But
excited.
first, let's talk about you.
About me.
When did you start dancing? I think a lot of people want to know what kind of dance did you start with and what make you dive into the dance
Fall in
community.
love, dance.
Okay, so usually I'm not someone who like to share about myself, but since I'm here,
Yeah.
I will share a little bit. For me, dancing has always been part of my life. I was a Chinese traditional dancer when I was a kid, like probably most of the Chinese girls. They started that. And then I started rhythmic gymnastics at a very young age, and I did that in competitively for 13 years.
Okay.
So I was basically living in athlete school during my youth, and doing competitions and training. So dance has always, when I got older, I stopped competing, obviously. You stop competing when you are in high school and you have no potential of going to Olympics, and that's when you know you need to stop this and do something serious. So yeah, but dance has always been my passion. I never stopped. And when I moved to Canada for study in the beginning, and then I discovered ballroom dancing, and I really loved it. And ballroom dancing is like quite expensive.
Yeah.
It's probably
We
one of
mentioned
the
it
most
a few times.
expensive dance discipline, because they don't really have like a socials or parties. It's more competition oriented, right? If you want to get serious in ballroom, it's different levels of competition. That's how you grow as a dancer in that field. So to be able to support my ballroom dancing and paying for classes, I decided, I need to start a side business to make some money. And at this time, I was still in University of Montreal, so I was studying business administration. So I started the dance shoe business, the Shine Dancewear. That's how I started to get into the dance business, because I know the dance shoes are quite pricey item here, and I'm from China, so all the years of my dance experience led me to meet many people who like dance in Latin in China, and also with the dance shoe manufacturers. So I was like, oh, okay, as a side business, I'll just bring some nice dance shoes that's not available here, and with like a little bit maybe lower price, a little lower.
When
But
was this?
This was a long time, like 20-something years ago.
Okay.
I was still
so
in
around early
university,
2000s.
like 2005
Okay.
or 2004, around that time. And so I started Shine Dance Wear. One thing led to the other. I discovered salsa, because when I was doing ballroom at Arthur Murray Dance Studio, like it's a famous dance
definitely.
studio, and I met my friend Nicola Chapados, and another friend of mine, Gary. They all my Arthur Murray friends, and they brought me to Salsa Tech.
Oh, okay.
Once.
So that was your first.
That was my first salsa experience.
Wow.
And sorry, Salsa Tech, I didn't really like it that much.
There's a particular vibe in salsa.
Yes,
You need to like it.
I was intrigued, definitely intrigued. I was like, oh, this is really cool, very different from ballroom. It's not so much about the curriculums and the
technique,
program, the moves and the technique. Because in ballrooms, like the curriculums, you're all basically doing the mini choreographies with the different dance partners that you all know the curriculum. So, but that looks like really free, and people seem to have a lot of fun. So I was definitely intrigued until one day I went to Salon d'Armée.
Oh.
So I remember first time I went. It was a Thursday.
Yeah, we talked
So
about
people
it.
think about all this, why is Thursday? Like all these things like goes really back in the memory lane.
Yes.
So with Thursday, I remember I walked up in that stairs when the door opened. It was kind of cold, and there's like a huge white steam just like come to your face. If you guys have been, I don't know if you guys are younger, you're too young for that, right? Like you haven't even been there.
We couldn't enter.
I think we went. I went like once.
Because that after was replaced by other things. But this was like really, I would say 2000. Yeah, around
Early
that time, 2006, around that time. So the door opened and you just have this huge steam come all the time like that.
That's
and you're like, whoa, what's this? And you go like a really dark, like a narrow staircase. You go up and there's a coat check. And you just hear like a music playing. And then I was like, oh, this is like super cool. Looks like super underground, And everybody, like I looked in the dance floor. Everyone is like spinning and dancing. Everyone like look like they really know what they're doing. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is it. Let's go. Like I know nothing about salsa at the time, but I know ballroom. I've been dancing, so it was like, oh,
at least
I'll go with the, I will go with the
Mambo
flow.
and cha-cha are close enough.
Yeah, I was like, well, I can fake a little bit. So I went inside and I saw Edson.
Oh.
So I think he was dancing with Eve. If my memory was correct.
Yes.
Did you guys know her?
Yes.
Yeah, on videos on my side.
Like Eve was dancing. She's like a short, kind of blonde girl.
Yeah, I remember.
Like so at the time I didn't know that was when you entered the club, there was this corner, the clique corner. It's the Salty Mambo clique corner.
Okay.
It's like all the best dancers. Like all the top salsa dancers were there. They have they have a corner on the couch, all their bags and clothes were in the back. And I just saw Edson dancing with Eve. Like she was so good. Like she has so much like swag, and she's doing all this spinning, like how Edson style. It's like quite impressive. When you go in, you just see this girl like a tornado and they're going like nonstop, and looks like they didn't plan that. I was like, is this like
freestyle?
Freestyle? Like improvise? Like that's some really high level improvisation over there. So I was just captivated by that. I think that's the first time I really realized, okay,
That's what you want to
I
do.
want to learn this, you know, like I'm really interested. I want to do this. This is like so cool. And there's Gasly, obviously. There are Steve,
Yeah.
Mo, like all these guys.
The click.
The click, you know. So, and there's another person on the DJ booth. Guess
Martin?
Jean Donez.
Oh, Jean.
Jean was already
Yeah, Jean
Oh,
was
that
already.
was-
Salon d'Armée.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Jean was already there. Jean was DJing there, I think, first the Thursday, and then they had the Monday events, and he was DJing that too.
Wow.
So Jean is definitely one of the first pioneers in the social dance scene in
And
Montreal.
it's so nice
100%.
because you still work with these people
Oh,
right now
yeah.
after like,
It's so crazy, right? When
20
you think about
years.
20 years. I know these guys for over 20 years.
yes.
That's great.
And they're still there. How many people can you say, okay, I work with this person for over 20 years and they're still cool,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we share the same passion, so we can see the people that
Yeah,
want to
so-
stay here.
Yeah.
And people
Totally.
think Baila con Gusto just like, you know, happened from nothing. But, you know, it's all
started-
the people from the past.
Oh, yeah.
About the connections you had when you started.
Exactly.
But after that, where did you take your classes? When you were like, okay, I want to do salsa.
Well, I just went for Edson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Saltimambo.
Edson was, Saltimambo. So it was best publicity. I mean, for talking about publicity, back then there is no social media. There's no YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah. Well,
This
there was a
the
salsa press.
Salsa Press,
Salsa-
Salsa Montreal.
and
Salsa Montreal, I
salsamontreal.com.
think later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, was a website.
Yeah.
But I do believe Edson got most of his students just by
Showing up.
dancing.
By dancing.
Yeah. And then it's quite cool to see, like, which is something that I really, really miss, like in the
Yeah.
current dance scene, because the current dance scene is a very different animal right now. Before, because there's not so many socials, right? So it kind of serves as an event that brings
People together.
people together.
Everybody.
But now it becomes less and less so. It's more, there's so many events happening. And, you know, it's not bad because the market now is probably way, 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 way bigger than back in the days, right? Like back in the days, people from South Shore, they come to Dalmet. People from Laval, they come to Dalmet. Like it's like all the surrounding areas, people all come to that one spot. But right now, it's like every region has multiple socials. However, what makes me really wonder is, for social dancing, when people go to a social, yeah, it's fun to dance, right? To meet people. However, I really miss that inspiration element in the social world. Maybe there's still a little bit, but I find it's not the old way because all the best dancers were literally there. Like there is no oh, did you get the memo? Let's go out. It's just they just go. Like people go. That's the place that everybody, all the top dancers, they go. There's also regular dancers, but when they go, they enjoy almost a show. You know, like remember
Yeah.
in the beginning era of dance congresses, the superstars are always dancing with each other, like outside on the carpet and stuff. We call it the
it's
carpet
true.
dancers.
Carpet dancers.
The carpet
yeah.
dancers. But those some of the best.
Yeah, you stay there and watch. Like
Some of
during
the
1
best,
hour.
best improvised dancing happen there. Like, I just find in the current scene, I really miss that. I don't see not one social still have that. I would say Gusto is probably a little bit, still have a little of that, but not as much as, not as impactful as that. Like, I literally, like, my experience of going to the that experience, I want that back. You know, you go in, you see like so many like amazing dancers in front of you just showing off.
Yeah,
And you
it's
get inspired.
inspirational.
It's
Like for
so
people
cool,
starting,
you
you
know?
watch that and you're like, I wanna.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Do
what
that.
makes people want to take dance classes.
Exactly.
Right now, what I hear the most is dance teachers. Nobody wants to take classes. Why would they want to take classes? All they do is walk left and right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like now they get their inspiration from the internet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the problem with that is the internet is you can't learn from that person. Like, dancing is one of those skills. Unfortunately, it cannot be replaced by AI or videos until this moment, right? Until this moment. Maybe later we can. Maybe the AI will become very, very good at teaching us how to dance. But right now, being a dancer, a gymnast all my life, I don't see one high-level dancer or gymnast learned from YouTube.
Yeah.
You can be very good at making carpentries, learning from YouTube. But to dance, gymnastics, all the things that's physical, like I just don't think you need a coach. There's like so much subtlety about our body. Like there's so many things, especially to untrained body, you are so not aware of what's happening with your body. And that's when the teacher comes. They can tell you, you're not aware of your head. That was the problem. Totally or you're not aware of your shoulders. That's the problem. It's not just like, I can copy. You cannot copy. You don't even know there's a muscle
don't have the
there.
Same body.
You don't have to squeeze or
and where the power comes from. Sometimes you don't know. It can't just look. Maybe they're really pushing so hard on their leg, but it looks effortless.
Yeah.
Right?
And you as a ballroom dancer, you had this already in mind. So when you went to Salty Mambo, you train in salsa and more like social or more like show performance.
Well, I did the social dance, obviously, because that's what attracted me in the first place. I just really wanted, the improvisation was something that really attracted me. I was like, this is so cool. I don't have to learn the routine, but I just know this. I can do that with anyone, it's like, it's so cool. And the interaction with people, that's what I think the most joyful in the social dancing. It's like you open a blind box all the time. You don't know this person, but what? Like we can do this together? This is like the magic of social dancing.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, but then you find that connection because of the music.
And sometimes you find like crazy connection. You're like, I didn't even know I could
do that. Exactly. And it happens all the time. It's a surprise. Sometimes bad surprise, but oftentimes good surprises.
I remember at Cubanos Club, I remember watching the Salty Mambo.
You were there?
Yes, I was there.
She was the lucky one that could get in.
Yes, at Cubanos Club. And I remember you dancing with the Salty Mambo.
With Fred.
It's Mambo Factory.
Mambo Factory.
Yeah. I saw the
Fred.
videos after.
And I noticed like you were so good in the team and everything. Good. And that's when, the first time that I saw you.
Oh my God, Cubanos.
Yeah, that was the first time.
That
you
was
must be like
2007.
So little.
She was like
2006.
Yeah, it was about 18. That time. Whoa.
So that's my first thing that I remember about you. So after that, I know that you performed more.
Yes, I did. Because I think for people with dance background, it is very attractive to be performing. So when I joined Salty Mambo, I took Edson's class, like a general class, like what he offers now every
basics.
Every week to learn the basics, because I didn't know anything about salsa. And my favorite dance partner was Edson's little brother, Ralph.
Ralph.
Cool. Yeah, so we would always like go
shout out.
Shout out to Ralph. Shout out to Ralph. I miss you. I know you have kids, but you can still come to that. I'm still here. So he was my first social dance partner, and he was so good, just naturally good. And I didn't want to change partners in the class. I'm like, okay, Rafa, we stay. we switch partner. No. I took several classes with Essen, and he has different levels. So I did the level, I think I started intermediate, and then I did the advanced. And then at the time, he has advanced, once you are in advanced 2, he offers choreographies. Class, not a team or anything, just you can do choreography. And then he had Mambo Factory, which was the less advanced team, and then he had the Salty Mambo,
Mambo
which is the
Pro
pro
team.
team.
Yeah.
So this was his setup back then. And I was really, really interested in doing the performance. And at the time, the performance team was not really that available. Like, I don't say there's beginner performance team or intermediate performance team. It's like you pretty much by given need to be in advanced level in every school to be considered to do
It's
a
true.
performance back in the days. I think
Yes.
any
It was
school,
more
it was
accessible when you were higher in your like
you
salsa
have
journey.
to exactly because it was kind of a natural evolution of your dance development, right? It's like you know how much this is all debatable, but my idea is also to be on stage, to put a show on stage for people to see and have some kind of a reaction, positive, negative. I think you need to have at least some basic level of training that at least you look like a dancer, not just like, you know, I just
Someone that
learned
learned a
this.
choreo.
Yeah, I just learned this, but I, you know, don't know how to move my body. Like I just do believe for somebody to want to go on stage and to do a show, there need to be a certain level of accumulation of skills, which has always been the case in any dance discipline until very recent years. That
We're making it more accessible
make
for
it
like
exactly like the dance
debutants.
projects become more accessible to anyone who wants to join.
Yeah. And the videos dance project, that is way more accessible now to anyone that doesn't have
Because
a
of the
background.
social media.
Well, like you said, it's debatable, and I think we can use that as a subject for an eventual episode
Totally.
because it's true that it evolved. For us, it was also the same. We had to finish all our levels before starting a
Saint-Tropez.
choreo or like a performance
And
project.
then you go to choreo, and if you're good, then you audition.
Exactly,
the-
to the team.
to the team.
Exactly. That was
That's
always that
interesting.
process. I don't know how you guys feel about that because you guys also run Alma Latina Montreal, which is a dance project team.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I would say like your team is probably a little more advanced compared to some of the other dance projects. However, I just find like the popularity of the dance project, the dance team, it's hard to say. I just don't know.
it's a
Like there's like
debate.
there's a positive part about this because it gives more people a reason to improve.
That's true.
Which
it's an experience that people maybe wants to have.
they want to
Challenge
have a
too.
challenge,
Yeah.
right? People want to have a challenge. However, I do find the quality control part is a bit lacking.
Yeah.
Because once the dance is an art form, right? So of course there's business related to this, but once your business or the profit goals that took the priority over the artistic goals, this is when we see
That's dangerous.
some kind of issue. And this is not just here in Montreal or in my studio or in anybody's studio. It's international. It's across the board. It's like I do see this as part of probably an evolution of
Definitely.
something bigger. Because at the end of the day, I think we're gonna touch upon the dance career part of it. Like, you know, if you're a dancer, if you want to put up a show and you call that a job, if you're a professional, right? Like a professional means what? Professional means you are getting paid for this. People are happy to pay to watch your show or to come to your class. That is the exchange that they get that value. You have to offer that value.
Yeah.
But the key point is how do you offer that value? If your level is
It's less quality.
you know, it's less
yeah.
quality, and then at the end of the day, the market will tell.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about how many times you went on the stage. It's at the end of the day, you put up a show. Will anyone pay the tickets?
It's a good
right?
And
Like
the
at the-
consistency also to keep doing good shows.
it's not the
every time.
only thing. I'm just saying, like, it's a very kind of a rough, like I would say, like, to see if you're real professional.
Yeah.
To make it a very rude judgment is like if you do a show, if people pay for it.
And you were a professional dancer.
Well, I would never put myself, to be honest, now we're talking about that. I've been in various pro troops. However, if I stay in those troops, I will probably living in the street right now. So I wouldn't call myself, I wouldn't say with pride, say I'm a professional dancer. Even though, like, people probably consider, like, some of my dance
In the pro team.
in the pro
are
team or
pros.
the
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like, I do get gigs here and there performing in different venues and stuff. However, these are not sufficient enough for me to call myself a professional dancer, because this is not the main source of revenue for me.
Nowadays we call it semi-pro. So when
Semi-pro,
it's-
I would say semi-pro, or in my case, I see dancing, the dance part, like performing part, is more personal project than a
Business.
career. It's really not my career. I was never reached at the level of a career dancer. You know, I never participated a commercial dance company that do shows, tour for living.
But you did perform internationally.
I did
with the
many
teams.
times. But this is like that's what I want to make it a distinction, because these are all because I love it, and I probably trained myself to reach to a higher dance level. However, this is not how I make money.
Yeah. And I
Right.
like your definition of professional, and that's also something we want to discuss
It's a
more
very
in another.
now the professional word professional becomes very
Yeah,
vague.
it's vague. And I personally don't like to call myself a professional either
Same.
at all. But sometimes because of, the vocabulary that we have, pro team versus
It's more like a
amateur team.
category.
Yeah.
kind
Yes,
of thing. It's
exactly.
a more category.
But we
thing.
definitely don't.
I don't consider myself a
Yeah.
professional. We don't do that as a career, like you said. It's not my first
Actually, many
income.
people in the Latin dance scene, they're not career dancers. They're probably very good, like you guys. You're very good, very high level dancing,
dedicated.
but very dedicated. However, this is not your main gig.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
you
not.
know?
That's
So
not
that-
how we make money for
Exactly.
living.
And
And it's very common in the Latin scene. like
very
you said.
common, very common. Not so common in ballet. Ballet is
exactly.
like either you're professional, your dance company, or you just ballet amateurs.
Yes.
You know, you can do competition all you want. You can do very high
You can be
level,
really
very
good,
high level
exactly, but you're
competition, but
still
it's
amateur.
still amateur.
Yeah.
So this is like, I think in any other, in some other genre, it's a little bit more clear.
Yeah, like you
Ver-
said at the beginning, like since we don't have like a specific syllabus, like curriculum.
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 It's more like freestyle. But I like what you said. Like you did some gigs, some like professional experiences, and there's one that we really wanted to highlight because you actually did a dream of ours. You danced with Jason Molina.
Oh yeah, the rompecabezas.
Rompecabezas.
Yeah,
It's-
that was like a really, really fun experience.
That
That's like
Rompecabezas was
respect.
my favorite team
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah,
And,
we love
yeah.
Rompecabezas.
I don't know
we
if
watched,
they're
when we
still
watched
doing
you.
shows. I saw some shows with Jason's team, but it wasn't like.
It's a good question.
I saw he was still somewhere in the Congress.
He's more like an
No,
like a
MC now.
MC,
Yeah, for
doing a lot
competition.
of MC.
But he doesn't, I think that he doesn't dance as much, or maybe he trains dancers in Puerto Rico. But yeah, now he's more like the MC for the World Latin
Yeah,
Dance
because of
Cup.
his like classic estamos en
En
competencia.
competencia.
And so
Everyone
he's like, people like hire him just to say
just
that.
to say that.
But yeah, for us, that's actually like a really like cool goal that you reach. You dance on the Puerto Rico salsa.
You want to know the story
Congress.
about
Yes,
that?
of
yeah.
course.
So this is a
Please.
story nobody knows. Yeah, since you mentioned it, like
I love that
the
kind of story
out of my past. Can I have more drinks? Oops. I'm the fastest.
I'll do it. Oh, you can do it. So you can start telling your story while we pour some
The story
mimosa.
with Jason, it was so cool. I actually met him just on the dance floor. I was at the Montreal Salsa Convention.
Oh, okay. He was invited here.
He was invited artist for many years. I believe Sonia invited him for like a good 10 years,
Yeah, it's
if
true.
not more. He was
You're
always
right. You're
there.
right. He was
They're
here.
very close. They're good
Yeah.
friends. So Jason was there with his team. Like back in the days, you know, the Puerto Rican dancers is like, wow, like they're the
amazing.
most beautiful. Like they have crazy costumes. This was like a pre all these other teams, you know,
Yeah.
they were like a really like I think the original flashy like dance troops that, and they're like the big team, you know, like always
Like that's pro.
that pro,
for me.
like when for salsa, I think that when you see that performance, you were like, okay, this is professional,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
and,
that's why I fell in love with this team, because
It's
they
so
were like
clean,
so
so
tight.
flavor,
so
technique.
And
fast.
the flow they
And
got,
the flow.
like, I love the Puerto Rican style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna
me
put some
too.
snippets so people can see
See
what
what
we're
it
talking
is.
about.
Yeah.
talking about.
Honestly, it was me too. I really loved, and all the girls are so beautiful in that team, and the boys didn't pay too much attention. I was just like really in awe with all the girls.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, you're all beautiful.
But you know, they're all super young, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can
some
see.
of them are like 13, 14.
Yes.
So really young. I only found out later. I didn't know them because they always like, you know, the Puerto Rican girls and Puerto Rican guys. This is like to battle rap a little bit. They never dance with the other people at Congress. They only dance with each
Okay.
other. Well, I would say never, but they always have
They're comfortable
Okay.
with each other.
The clique again.
The clique again. This is a Congress culture, and
That's true.
I don't dislike it because we do get to see the high level dancing between them, like the carpet dance that we
Oh, yeah.
mentioned, which is like I really love. I don't mind. Like honestly, I don't mind not dancing with superstars. I just enjoy watching. You know, it's like it's such a cool.
I think I share this opinion too. Like I
know.
don't dance with artists when they come on Congress.
If
I
you
just
are
watch.
friends, I always feel like it's a bit awkward. Don't quote me on this, just for me. I was like, if I'm friends with this person, I know them, you know, like then it's a very nice equal exchange versus, oh my God, I see your YouTube videos. I really want to dance with you. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, that
I
is
share
not,
the same.
not for me. I just feel a little cringe about those things. But I mean, if people love it, go ahead, do it, you know. But the whole thing is, I feel dance is always a shared passion. If the person is not sharing that moment with me, willingly and happily at the same level, I kind of feel like I don't need that in my life, you know? It's like I'd much rather with some other guy who really, really, really want to dance with me, you know?
Yeah. And
Me, I
enjoy
get
that
so
connection.
nervous that at the end, like,
Like, did you enjoy
I'm not
it? You
enjoying
know?
this. I'm just stressing out.
but this was like what happened with Jason, you know? So obviously I wouldn't go ask Jason to dance, but so I was just there, like outside at the Congress and in a waiting area. And then Jason just like came to me and then he invited me to dance. I was like shaking. I was like, why? Why are you coming to me? So he danced with me. It was like a really fun, but he's like super fast, you know, like the Puerto Rican style is like leading me to all these crazy spins and stuff. I mean, I was
he was
already
on
dancing
two.
with the on two, which
Puerto
is
Rican,
fine.
right?
Yeah, I was already dancing on two.
Because of Salty Mambo.
Yeah, because I was
that's a
already at the
good-
time. I believe I was already dancing in Edson's troupe. I think a Mambo Factory at the time. I don't think I made it to the pro team yet at this time. So then he danced with me, and then so he said thank you. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. I tried to follow. I tried so hard to follow, and it was like, you know, a little bit fun, but more like stress me out, you know.
Of course.
So didn't think too much. And the next day, he saw me again. He was like commented my outfits. Like, I really like love what you wear, and he invited me to dance again. After that dance, he was like, "Would you like to come dance with me in Puerto Rico?"
Crazy.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Just like
Two
that.
dances.
Yeah, he's like, I will train you and make you a better dancer. That's what he said
That's
to me.
amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
But he's very like out there and genuine.
Because what he has back in the days is like he does a rompecabezas international. So this is every year at the Puerto Rico Salsa Open, rompecabezas always the closing number, and it's a closing number is the international team. So whenever he travels, he recruits artists, dancers from different countries. So he has amazing lineup for that show.
Definitely.
Plus, he has amazing roster of dancers in Puerto Rico. So he just combines basically the dancers. He scouted everywhere, people from Spain, from France, from like, I don't know, Venezuela, like all these guys. We're not paid, obviously. We're just like happy to go dance for him,
And how long did you train in Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico, we trained actually only a week also.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
a
To
week
learn
or
the
like
choreo,
learn the choreo. I would say maybe 10 days. I don't recall exactly. So we went. He lives in Ponce. So the studio is there. And he lives actually far out of in the countryside. Like, so he drives this like Audi, whatever sports car at the time. He's like a crazy driver.
Oh, okay.
He drives like he dances. Once
funny.
I had to follow his car on highway, almost fucking died. Because we're a bunch of all the international dancers will all stay in his house.
Okay.
So he has a little house, but we all like sleeping on the floor, whatever. Because the dancers who don't
It's artist life.
artist life, back in the days when I was young and broke. I had my dance shoe business, so I was still making money. But anyways, so we all live in his house. We ate in his house, and every day we finish breakfast, we go to the studio, and we spend all day in the studio.
Okay. Good.
And to learn that choreo, I'll tell you, like I was pretty lost in the first like 2 days, because he doesn't make a choreo like from scratch. He has a lot of pieces from all their repertoires. So he would just say like, this number, he says something from this part to that part, and all his dancers already know.
Of course.
They have the freaking, the four eights or 6 eights that was made. So he literally sits in the car, listen to a song. This is a song we're doing this weekend.
Wow.
This is how he choreograph. Like he goes to the studio, so pulls out all those combos that are already pre-made that I have no idea. Like none of the international know, because we're not his regular dancers. So we're all supposed to just and then learn everything like these kids, like little girls. Oh my God, these girls are like such badass. Like honestly, they are total badass.
Because they do
They
that.
go in like at the first rehearsal, they look like they're ready, like
To perform,
on stage,
like,
ready
the next
to go.
day.
Like no, today.
Oh, today.
Yeah.
And the studio is also a ballet studio.
Yeah.
So these girls, they spend all their days. It's a summer, right? Summer, so they spend all their day there. They start ballet and they do hip hop, and then Jason comes. They do Jason's routines.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of other gigs, like festivals and things, and so all of these girls, girls and boys too.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're
They're just
good guys
ready
dancers.
to go. They're just ready to go. And then, like the routine was done literally for half a day.
Okay.
The whole routine was finished.
Wow.
I have no idea how to do the whole thing, but they're ready. Like the whole thing was like this part, boom. Oh, I don't like that part. Let's change to another routine. This part.
But it came out pretty good. Like we cannot see that you were like struggling. I think at the end you practiced and you probably had it because
but
the show came
there
out
is
good.
like I was happy to just live that life. It's like you're there. Your only reason to be there is just to dance
For
that
dancing.
show. And then we're like it's so much fun. Like after we go, hang out with the whole group. Honestly, it was like such a cool experience to just be there and do that. Like, I'm just happy I've done that like in my life. Now it's probably never gonna happen again, but with so much more responsibility. But at the time, it's like your dance was like
not a lot of
the best.
like not a lot of company does that kind of project. Very international. So we feel that you're one of the from Canada, especially like. I think you're the only one that did that
I
project.
don't
had
think
this,
there's more dance company. I don't know about in Mexico, maybe. Like in Canada, 100% you don't have dance company like
There's
that.
no. It's like almost like a reality show for me.
It's it's almost like it's like a real dance company experience, right? Because that was like that is your job.
Yeah.
You don't have other jobs. You go there, you train, you start like stretching like a real dance company. You do your ballet training, and then you do your the repertoire training, and that's, you know, that is how like I think professional dance companies do. And I don't think there's that many companies for Latin dance in Montreal or in Canada that actually does that.
Well,
it's more
sure.
for recreational, I would say.
Exactly.
You practice like 2-3 times a week.
Exactly. But it doesn't mean that we cannot be inspired by that. But it's true that Puerto Rico, Mexico, there's like Latin dance.
It's
so,
very
like,
strong. Like they
very
take it so serious. They really do.
So now we want to talk. Now we talk a little about your dancing.
Okay.
But
Are we
now-
still talking about me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is nice. 10
We're
minutes.
gonna talk about you a whole episode.
Oh my.
But
Too
now,
much. Now you guys have to be killed. You know too much.
so now we just want to go through the dancing to the dancing entrepreneur. How,
Okay.
So you already talked about the shine dance wear that you started to
Early.
gain money to dance.
Yes.
But then, how did you switch to way
Other
more?
things. Yeah, it's actually funny. People always think I probably had planned this, but in fact I didn't. Like everything was basically led by intuition, I would say. Probably you would find that I have many entrepreneur friends, and oftentimes you find people are entrepreneurs. They have no clue and they have no plan. They just went
Feel it.
with the
They
flow.
feel it.
That's pretty much how it is. I don't want to, glorify it. It is what it is. So for the shine, it was really literally just want to pay for dance classes. And, I went to negotiate it with the dance studios. It's like, well, can I put some samples there? And I did consignment, if you have people interested in the shoes, I can come, I will bring the shoes. So at the time I have like my car was like a Mini Cooper. So like with a tiny trunk, almost no trunk. So I have my boxes of shoes there, and I would be like, after school, I would like drive to different dance studios because there's like clients want to try shoes. So that was like how I started basically. And then after I show the shoes, I'll go take my dance lessons and stuff like that. And I had more dance studios sign up to do that, and then I had to like manage my inventory, get more stuff. So
And you did congresses too.
that comes after when I because when I graduated from my master program at University of Montreal, so I was working at La Senza. So I was managing their Asian market at the time. And at the same time, I fell in love with salsa, right? I started doing all the congresses and traveling and stuff, doing since team, we have to pay for costume. And so I was doing work, and then I was continuing the dance shoe business. And I realized at the dance congresses, there's like no shoes back then. Now there's everywhere. It's only shoes. Back then, there was like no shoes. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can pay for my congress. I just have to bring some shoes with me. And this was the time that I guess he was selling T-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah,
Soulstar.
Soulstar, yeah. So we become like a booth friends. And then that's how I started doing the congresses. And the business was very, very good at the time because there was very little competition. And I did my own design. So the shoes were quite different from what's available at the time. At the time, it's not much. It's not like
They
now.
were just
Was
regular
basic
shoes.
shoes.
It was very basic.
Tan.
I still
And I
have
was
mine.
the first one who has like all the rhinestones.
Yes.
I remember.
That was like me, like a
and
shine.
the colors
Yeah,
and the
I got
different patterns.
Exactly.
And I still have the boots.
Yeah, exactly, like the
I
boots.
love the
And,
boots.
I was doing things by hand at the time, but in the end, I was like, okay, no. The factory has to do that. I cannot do like 50 pairs of boots myself. It's like, So that was doing very well for quite some time, and I decided to quit my job. So the day I quit
Big step.
was the first salsa glam.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So first salsa glam.
We were there.
were there.
Do you remember my shoe booth?
Oh,
Yes.
we
Probably
remember
don't
the booth because that's where the carpet is,
Yeah,
right?
right in front of the hall,
The hall.
the salle de danse. So the night before, that was like my first sleepless night for Shine Dance Work, because I had to make that poster by hand, and I didn't realize it actually takes a lot of time to make a stupid poster like this big.
Oh, God.
This was like the first time I learned to be an entrepreneur. It was actually hard because the next day there's the booth. I need to prepare my inventory. So I literally did not sleep the night before. And that was my first booth. Official booth, with the poster. I had, the many stocks and... Yeah, so I still remember. And Martin was helping me making the goddamn poster.
That was 2009?
Probably around that
Yeah,
time.
remember.
Yeah, I would say, around there. And then from then, I just did congresses and after congresses. And it became my business because I quit the job. I was traveling so much for Shine. I was dancing less because but the whole thing is I was always known as a vendor who also dance. So I was kind of the only one. Basically, most of vendors, they just go there to sell stuff.
It's true.
I was the one who has to perform also, and I take workshops, and I sell shoes, and I party with people and go to after party. That was me. So it was like pretty intense. Every Congress, I feel like I just don't sleep at all.
And were you the only one at the booth, or you had like
I
friends to
only
help
have
you?
Martin. Martin helps me a little bit, but mostly it's me. I didn't have staff. I didn't know I could afford stuff. So I would be, oftentimes you see me in costumes right after the show because after the show is the rush.
Yeah, it's true.
Because after the show, usually there's a switch time.
The
they move the
chairs,
chair or
For the
whatever they
social.
have to do or set up the band.
Like they don't do nothing.
Yeah, so that's the time that people want to try shoes. Oftentimes you see me in costumes, ran off the backstage, come to my booth and start like helping customers. So that would be me. Like I did so many years of that. 1 year I traveled 42 weeks of the year.
Wow.
At the time, there was a Montreal Salsa Master competition.
Really?
That I bet you don't know about that.
Oh, we're surprised.
Was
Tell
before
us.
your time. So when Salsa Congress becomes a thing, right? And people were like ecstatic about it. What? You can travel to different places in the world and then go do this giant party and just have the best time, This is when the Salsa Congress become popular. So there's a group of people, like hardcore dancers in Montreal, that we called them like Montreal Salsa Masters. So is that the
love it.
people? They're not performers, okay? They're all
Social
very
dancers.
high-level social dancers. The best social dancers
Can
in the
you
scene.
name some of social?
Yeah, I can definitely name. I mean, Martin,
Yes.
back in the days, he still dances a lot. And then there's Mohamed, Momo.
He
You know,
listened.
doesn't-
He watches.
listens to it?
Oh
Yeah.
yes, he left a
He
comment.
was one of my favorite, Momo. And there's Master Ikai. Mark Lin. You guys probably don't know him. It's like an Asian guy, banker. So
Probably
one
we
of the
saw.
most traveled salseros in Montreal.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and these guys are like, Mo also like has pretty serious job, and these guys always line up with their work things
Oh,
with the Congress.
that's cool.
Congresses.
So in the morning they will be like doing $1 million deals. At night they go to salsa congresses.
Love it.
So back then there was basically this competition. We have a system, a point system. So if you go to a congress in Canada, it's 1 point. And if you go to a congress in US, it's 2 points. If you go to a congress in Europe, that's 3 points. And if you go to Asia or like a Pacific Sydney, like all these oceanic, far places, 4 points.
Wow.
Crazy.
So that year I won.
Wow.
I did 42 congresses. And many of them are not on this continent. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
It's like, if you have the travel passion too, like it's like perfect.
I mean, I don't think people are still doing that anymore. And there is no, what I like about this, it was like a really,
friendly
was
competition.
driven by the passion for dancing, not because I'm performing, so I have to go. I do competitions, so I gotta go. There is no like
objective,
just
it's
because
just
I
social.
love it. I wanna at the time we actually literally check, okay, who are the teachers? Oh, I gotta go take classes with these guys, and like that is. I really find people are a bit missing the fun, It's like, to talk about this, like a Mamboland, the biggest thing about Mamboland is you guys have both come to Mamboland. It's one of my, the event that closest to my heart. Like, I really wanted to have an event that's like so incredible on every level and offer like the best values and the best talent. Everything. And then the question I got asked the most is, can we perform? Is I really not to diss about performance or anything, but I just like
that's not.
I'm inviting you to a top-notch event with the top-notch training performers. Like you will enjoy it. It's so if you love dance, I think you genuinely love salsa mambo. You would genuinely appreciate every minute of that event.
Yeah.
Even if you don't perform. Like, why is it so important?
Especially because you don't perform. I feel that there's like something different about a congress where you're just enjoying it as a...
Yeah, because there's so much more, right? Like all these organizers put up all this huge list of amazing, talented artists to share their knowledge and then their art with you.
Yeah.
Why is it so important?
Very, very special. I mean, I'm a performer, and what I focus about Mamboland is about the training that was very dedicated to my personal growth, because you had to audition, you had to
audition to the class.
To get to the level that you belong.
But that is the best thing, no?
That was amazing.
Honestly, yes. And it's good also for...
We're not just doing that because we're hard-ass, because we just think that's the best way people can learn. Who want to be... You're advanced. You don't want to go to a workshop that half of the people don't know what the teacher is talking about. Like, you cannot move. You're just wasting a lot of time. And then you have to be patient and polite, of course. But it's like we don't have to do that, right? But it's just like I come back to the performance things. It's like once you are so focused on your own shows or whatever it is, you miss a whole lot about this event, what can offer to you.
The workshop, especially.
Right? Like
because you're training to do a good show, and you don't have time or the energy.
You don't have the time. You don't have time because you gotta rehearse. Yeah, you gotta rehearse. You gotta do makeup. You gotta rest a bit.
Finish the ringstones.
For sure. Like it's a different experience. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is.
But what I'm just saying is like how important, like the intention we're talking about. The intention. How important is like being on stage or being in a competition to you as a dancer, or like do you actually enjoy this? Or you enjoy the glamour that it brought to you.
That's a good question.
And you just... I don't know. I don't know if people actually really connect to their heart.
Yeah, well, I think we can help them to get there, because when you're talking about this experience, for example, the one traveling around the world, just do social, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people listening to that and they're like, oh, I want to do that. Like people that
was like the best thing. I missed that. The only, having kids is just basically took my rights away from doing that. Back then, it's like, I want to go this weekend. I buy my tickets. I go. I don't think two times, I just go. But now I cannot, right? Like, but if I'm free, Like I don't have children. I have a good job because it does cost money. You know,
Yeah,
you gotta
that's true.
fly, you
Good,
gotta go hotel, you gotta be able
The
to.
pass.
Yeah,
and,
of course. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You need to have some money to be a salsa master. Can't just be
or
broke.
maybe a bachata master.
Bachata master, exactly. There's so many amazing events nowadays in this world. It's so incredible. Like I want to go to many events and I don't have the chance right now to be able to do that. But like I encourage people to really try to enjoy the dance. Honestly, enjoy for what it is, not what it looks like on social media, on Instagram.
I agree.
You know,
That would
it's
be
always cool with
so
your
amazing.
makeup, but
Yeah,
like,
and one of the congresses that I enjoy the most is when I don't perform.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying too.
the performance, it is an experience.
fun.
However,
It's a trail, like specific trail.
Yeah, but I really think people in the current world, I think what looks on the surface really took over of what you can connect inside.
And I think social media like doesn't help to connect with their real stuff
No,
right now. These
because
years.
everybody looks so happy on social
Yeah.
media, but are you really that happy?
It's a good question.
You know,
Good-
when you're like feeling like shit, you're gonna go, oh, let me record a video of me feeling like shit. You know? It's like, oh, I have a really bad lunch today. Let me take a picture. You know, it's like, who does that? Maybe that's the idea. You can probably have a lot of followers. Everyone's posting amazing
Suffering.
lunch, and then you have like the shit every day.
But it's good to know a little bit about more like how your minds work and what's your background, because we can see it in your businesses, like that mindset. I feel like you're very oriented to connections and like relationships.
Because that is my thing, because I try to almost purposely try to stay true to everything I do. If it's something I don't like, I don't hesitate to remove it. And I don't think all of us, whether a business or not business, I just think we probably try too hard to please other people a little too much most of the time. So, and many people, I don't believe they really even look into themselves and say, do I care about this? You know, does this give me anything?
Yeah, is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
That I
because
work?
everybody's doing it, I'm doing it. You know, does that make me happy? Like, does that really bring something to you that's meaningful?
Yeah.
Like, I would say something about that. Let's wrap up this, like, a Montreal Salsa Master Group. Everyone, even we were the most exhausted, everyone was feeling so fulfilled, so satisfied. Honestly, I've seen, like, these guys, I'm talking about Master Ika. I love this story with that. We travel so much together. He's the one who brings the best hotels, okay? Because it's a work trip.
Oh.
We always stay in 5-star hotel. We don't
Oh,
go to the
wow.
conference hotel. We go to 5-star hotels. And the guy never sleep in the hotel, okay? I slept in the hotel because I don't have to go 8 o'clock, go negotiate with some bankers. But, you know, this guy, you dance all night. Still, we go, you know, walk in Europe, like in the street, like drinking with the people, the new friends. And then the next day, the guy just like still goes to his meeting.
Crazy.
And this is like, it takes real passion.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he really
Totally.
loves it. He doesn't do it to look good. He hides it because he doesn't want nobody to know. But this is like, you know, people have that passion.
Yeah.
I really feel, I don't know if I don't see that as much now, or maybe people just don't try to connect with themselves as much anymore. I don't know. I think people should just be a little bit more selfish.
Oh, maybe if people that listen to us, there's a few new salsa masters or bachata masters.
Exactly.
Leave us a comment.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
let us know if you're
that,
doing that. We'll
If you
transfer
can
the point
beat-
system. Let's start a competition.
Yeah, if you can beat Dominic,
42 weeks.
42 weeks.
I challenge you.
Oh.
Challenge you. 42 weekends
I love
per
it.
year.
Now, I want to know, because now we talk about Shine and the Salsa Masters. But now, when you come back to Montreal, you decided to do another business.
Oh.
the business.
The
For
business.
us, for us, it's like
The business.
That we all know.
every guest in this podcast mention your
Yeah.
business. So like everyone knows it, and
It's
even people
very
that
present in
they're from
Montreal.
Europe, they come here like first week when they want to dance,
Yeah.
they find your business.
Yeah, and even our guests from Mexico that Alma Montreal invited here, they mention.
Oh, they have to come. They're like the best dancers.
Yes.
Soon working on it.
Yeah, we're gonna bring more of them. Yeah, it'll be fun.
So can you talk about Espace des Arts, how everything
Yes,
started?
How everything started. So come through with the same line of thoughts. I didn't think too much. I don't know if it's good or bad, but one thing I just read the other day, I thought it was so true, is I think in the modern life, people always look for meanings, right? You wake up, you think you need an inspiration quote, you need to see meanings. You're trying to find meanings like in life. But I read it somewhere else, I don't remember, but I really relate to that. Is you start doing things, maybe there is no meaning. It's just something that follows your intuition. Mm-hmm. And the meanings happen along the way. Like when I started Espace, I did not know it's gonna shape into what it is now. I absolutely did not have an idea. If I tell you I have an idea, I was lying. But the whole thing is, I just thought the first idea was I was always going to Studio Biz. Yeah.
On Montreal?
On Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where Satimambo class was.
Okay.
Which is a popular studio
Was
in
a
Montreal
very
too.
popular studio. Like I think everybody, dancing, not just salsa, bachata. There's so many
different
other things, like so many other dances. They're like one of the pioneers in Montreal. So I was there, and I also been going to the parties in the city. And I was like, oh, it'll be very cool if we can have a dance studio that's a little bit more chic, and then maybe we can do some events from time to time. That would be cool, for the dancers, that we don't have to go to bars, because sometimes we don't like the floor in the bars, right? Like that was like my biggest thing when I was going dancing, especially when you get a little advanced. You're like, I don't like this floor, it's like sticky, it ruins my shoes.
Yeah,
So I was
and
like,
the alcohol on the floor.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was like simple as that. I was like, okay, I think this is a pretty good business. There are a lot of dancers in Montreal. I want to have like a more chic space, and then maybe we can do some events, little bit once in a while. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. So, and I thought, running a dance studio, what can I do? I just open the door. They just come use the space. I collect the money. Great, I can sell my shoes there.
Yeah.
So
Everything connected.
Makes sense. So it turned out to be one of the hardest challenge in my life, and until this day. So
How did
and
you
then
found the spot? Like
spot?
Saint Laurent, Saint Catherine. Let's say it's like the best spot.
the spot was actually available for many years.
Oh, wow.
The space was available. I had a partner at the time. She's not there anymore, but we drove around. It was like a girl. She wanted to start a business. We were young, we clueless.
In the dance scene
In
too.
the dance scene, we met through dancing. We're like, let's do this. It's gonna be so cool. We're gonna run some parties and have no idea we actually need the alcohol permit. Like, no, nothing, right? So we're like, okay, we're just gonna rent the studio, and you come work for a few hours. I come work for a few hours, and we're good. So this was like the.
Innocence.
In a sense, you had no clue how much construction is going to cost you. You think you had a lot of money at the time. We're like, I was rich. I have this money from the shine. I can invest and blah, blah, blah. And so when we drove on St. Catherine, we always see this sign on the... It's still there, by the way.
Alloué.
Alloué.
Yes, sure.
It's still there. It's always there. So we can check the space. But let me tell you, knowing what I knew afterwards, I probably wouldn't have done it. Because the place was like completely shit.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse my language, was
I saw it. I went.
complete.
I saw half of it. I remember.
You
did,
saw probably
like,
half of it, but the whole thing, it was like complete water damage. There was not one piece of floor that was salvageable. So it was total, and it was a webcam studio.
What's a webcam studio?
Like, Montreal was like the. Can I say that on the radio? Like the porn
Yes.
industry
Yeah,
was very
definitely.
strong in Montreal.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
the beginning of the internet, they were making like
okay.
videos of with the camera and kind of like influencers.
Yeah.
Like, but
Oh, that kind of
OnlyFans,
webcam.
but back
Okay.
yeah,
2000.
2000 OG OnlyFans. So back in the days,
Wow,
so they had
interesting.
so this was before Espace is out. Why you guys feel like so sexy? It was, yeah,
vibe
it was
is
the
here.
vibe. It still is marinated in the building. So it was a webcam studio. So all the space was divided into tiny like cubicles, and the cubicles had themes.
Wow.
They have like a dungeons, garage, like I don't know, like a bunch of stuff. And then the ceiling was very low because they have to pass all the beginning of
cables.
internet. Okay, the internet cable was like
Yeah.
big, so it's like full of cables in the ceiling. So and then there's like a railing in the middle of the room, and there was the floor in Met. If you guys know the studio Met. It was like this old floor. They're all like skinny planks, and they're like 20 feet long, like old times. Now
Okay.
you don't find trees like that anymore. But the floor was bumped up like a mountain in the middle.
Yeah, because of the water.
It was all the mold,
Yeah,
whatever stuff that grew under. So it was like a mountain.
Oh God.
So we were like, oh yeah, this is like a really perfect spot for us. With the water running everywhere. We had no clue. We're like, we'll take it.
Oh my God, you guys.
So we negotiated 6 months of free rent because we have to like renovate, Yeah, so we did most of the demolition on our own.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, if you want, I can dig out our demolition
Oh,
photos
Oh,
for
If
you.
you can send it to us.
we
We
can
did-
put it like
Because we had to save money, right? Like it was like
Yeah.
we didn't know how
Yeah.
much this is gonna. So
yeah
we
with the
did
constructor team.
everything ourselves. Like I think at the time, like Martin and I, we were like working minimum 18 hours per day just to demolish the space.
I think I
And it
went
comes-
when everything was demolished already.
Probably, yeah.
And because I remember you saying there was nothing, there was just concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And you were with Marty, you were saying, okay, the bar is going to be here and the dancing, there's a room here. And for me, it was like, okay, I can't see anything.
You
because
were
it was,
seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
were
I already know like how the space is gonna be.
Yeah.
So that was like cool, and it was my friend, a graffiti artist who did the mural, like the white things. So I already know like the how
You had
I
a
want
plan.
it. Yeah. And but it was. I'll
You
tell
had no
it
idea
was
of the
how
work
hard it was.
to-
Like it was so hard. Like literally, when I started that project, I realized, okay, owning a business is like fucking hard. Like whatever your body used to, forget about it. That you need to sleep, you need to eat, you don't want to breathe the bad air.
No.
Like this all like you actually it's a trained. Your body's trained to do that. It's like I didn't set out to know all that. I just knew, okay, like we need to start construction. Let me just fucking demolish the shit. Like I don't know how
Like
long it's gonna take.
improv.
Yeah, it's improvisation, man. Like
Totally.
Following
that
your
one needs to
guts.
come down. We have nobody. Okay, me and Martin. We fucking do it. You'll have no idea how many nails we pulled out of the concrete floor in the studio.
I can imagine because you had to renew the
We
all
have
the
to
floor.
remove the floor, and then after we
Yeah.
remove floor, we realized the floor was nailed down with like old nails, like those big, crazy big nails. So we cannot put new thing until all the nails were pulled out of concrete
Oh God.
by hand. It's just the beginning. It's
Yeah,
only
that's the
demolition.
only the
We
demolition.
haven't started anything yet.
How
We're
long
gonna have
did the-
10 other episodes about this.
But how long was the whole process? Like you did the demolition, so I guess it took less, like more time maybe than like if you hired someone.
Yeah, it took a long time. Like the whole construction from demolition till we finished took like over 8 months, I think.
Wow.
It was more than what we anticipated, way more than what we anticipated. And it was not, it's a dance studio. It's not that we have so many like crazy designs that's difficult. But even that, it was incredibly challenging.
And
Yeah,
what
and
about that includes the painting and
everything,
like bringing
floor,
stuff?
everything you see
proper floor.
in Espace, we had to do everything.
Yeah, makes
At subfloor, like we're not talking about just a top layer. We build the entire subfloor because, I'm a dancer.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't want to put the fake floor, because most of the studio they have like the engineered wood floor. Most of the studio, and us we have real sprung hardwood floor.
Wow.
So we spend probably I don't want to say the number, but 10 times more money than on a floor. And people like the floor, but they don't know why they like the floor.
And you know.
And the floor is
Now
actually...
we know.
Yes. It actually costs so much fucking money. Yeah, it was... I used the best floor.
Wow.
And the floor, it was Brazilian teak, which is water resistant. Because I know in my head I'm gonna run parties, so I cannot have a wood that gets destroyed by water.
Yes. So it's a good investment.
It
to
was
not,
for
like-
me. We had to invest into that, which proven to be the right decision, but it could have been the wrong decision because that wood is very expensive, and it's what they used to in the old time to make boats
Okay.
in the ancient times. It's the wood that you literally put in the water, it sinks.
Okay.
It's like so dense. It's not only water resistant, it's also scratch resistant. So
Okay.
like when you have high heels, it's not that easily destroyed.
Perfect.
So this was the only we found out. I was like regretting spending that money, but in the end, after many years,
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
You're
the
thankful.
the floor is still very good. Like all we need to do is if you want a brand new floor, we just resand it and it's perfect like new. So it was like
Oh, amazing. Yes.
one of the
Instead of,
decisions I actually made. It was right. Not all of them are right, but
Oh, well,
yeah.
like definitely like opening the studio was one of the biggest challenges that you had, probably.
It's definitely because I honestly just didn't have much of a clue, and we did it in 2 phases.
Yeah.
We started with only the 3
Half part.
studios,
We were there at the opening of the
the
half.
opening, and we were not ready. Remember?
Well, I don't know. Do
you remember when
I don't think we
was in
noticed. Yeah.
We didn't notice.
And we did a soft opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that
we
one.
had to cover all the construction
Yes,
zone because it
I
was
remember.
not finished. We
remember.
only had the mat available. And you remember who DJ'd the event? Henry knows.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Henry.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So, shout out to Henry.
But I think we felt it in this party, like, okay,
That
like
was
this is
cool.
something special. Something special is happening, and it was nice to see it like grow.
It was like a super successful party. People loved it so much that I remember. Like
Me,
people really
what I
loved it.
remember is just the ambience.
Yeah.
Like it's dark, it's stylish, you
I
know,
had
on the
like
couch.
we have the couch, and I had like I don't know if you remember, I put the like LED lights
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
ceiling, and I put tissue over, so there's like some kind of like a floating
Exactly. So the ambience was really like special.
It was like a party, not like you going to a dance studio
Yeah.
doing
House
an event.
party
It was like
almost.
it's not. It's like a event,
Yeah.
So that was like, oh, we can do this.
And after that,
We
when
got
you
burned. That was a fire after.
When?
right
We
after
didn't
that,
know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the other challenge that you.
There's like so many. That's why I was like reading the questions. What are the biggest challenges? I'm like,
Which one?
which one? There's many.
Yeah, okay,
Literally,
you had a
I
fire.
had a
Was it
fire.
like very destructive? Or
It is quite destructive. Thinking
Okay.
that we just
lunch.
not finished, but almost finished.
yeah, near the end.
And the wall, outside exterior wall of mat was completely burned.
Okay.
So you I had a terrace, so you see it
Oh,
outside.
Ah.
It's like one
Okay.
day I was like I was in one evening, I just saw fire
The
trucks,
firemen,
yeah, in front of the building. I was like, what's happening? And they started shooting water upstairs. I was like, what? Yeah, we had the
So
electrical.
everything.
Yeah, not everything, but the wall, and then part of the floor was destroyed. And I had booked the event that weekend of a Mutec festival.
Okay.
Oh my
Wow,
God, that
that's
was,
pretty
like,
big event.
Freaking out, huh?
At the time, it wasn't that big.
Okay.
And we were only doing their workshops, not the main festival. However, it was booked all weekend. It was like our first contract, okay?
Yeah.
And we're fucking burned. And luckily, their equipments were not destroyed. They were already there.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and then we managed to fix it within a day. And then
In time?
not fully, but good
You
enough
managed.
to host the
Okay.
event.
Wow. So like adaptation.
Emergency management,
Wow.
yeah. So, but there was,
job.
yeah, it was like a really one of the things I still remember. I was like, really, this is happening to me?
That
my
we
God.
didn't know, but
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It was crazy, and nobody knew. Like the next day, the Mutec organizers, they know. They came. They're like, "Oh, would you still have the space, or we have to find some other location to move the festival?" And we're like, "No, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. We'll make it work."
Interesting.
So it was like again, no sleep for like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Try
Business
to clean
owner.
up everything. I know, but this is like if you want to be
We
a business
understand what
owner.
you're saying.
Yeah, so forget about sleep. You know, it is really the first thing you need to forget about. Once you forget about it, it's not a big deal anymore. It's more like that. You know,
Like,
people always think
it's just part of your life.
exactly. It's you know, it's acquired skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, how do you do that? Oh my God. It's like, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Don't think about how, just do it. And once you do it so often, you just realize, oh, it's not that. It's like a training in the gym.
You're stronger.
The
Yeah.
sleep is the same thing. People are always like, oh, I need 8 hours. Or I need this and that, need that. You don't need that. You tell yourself you need that. But I'm not saying people cannot sleep. I'm just saying if you decide to become a business owner or entrepreneur, for all the entrepreneurs that I've met and I spoke to, whether successful or non-successful, they all have the superpower of not sleep.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Pretty much everybody.
That's a good tip.
It's
Yeah.
a good tip. So first, train yourself not to sleep and function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And don't feel bad about yourself.
Oh, that's good advice. And I think we cannot talk about Espace without talking about, for us, like the key of success to in Montreal, which is Baila con Gusto.
The
For,
party.
like the parties, the festivals. Like you managed to do that studio that is a dance studio, but
Because
also
yeah,
like
it's a dance studio that
a venue.
that works really well because we all use it for
I think
many,
a lot of
many years.
teacher calls it home. Like people
Many
feel,
people, I think they spend more time at
At the
Espace
studio.
than their house.
Yes.
And it's not
Probably.
exaggerating. Many of them, I see them all the
Definitely.
time. Yeah.
And then the studio became also a place to party.
To
for
dance,
yeah, and I know that you rented the place
To
but
other
to
other events. Yeah,
but
not
you also
non-
decided to do your own event.
Yeah. So the event business, when I first started out, I had no idea it was going to become big. And I did not want to become an event organizer myself either. So that was not really in my vision in the beginning. And then once we opened the door and I start to put advertisement about renting the venue, blah, 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 because we're thinking, okay, just the studio, it's not enough to sustain
The rent.
the cost, because it's where the location is downtown,
Yeah.
St. Catherine, Saint-Jean. It's quite expensive, and
Plus
it's a big
Hydro-Québec,
space. Yeah, all the
internet,
so
phone.
only by studio rental for sure, we're not gonna make it, or we barely make it. And then I made a very deliberate decision of not running dance classes myself, meaning I don't want to operate as a dance school. this is goes with the mandate of Espace because I wanted to create this space for the community of dancing to get together.
Okay.
So I don't want to act as a competitor. So which I think is one of the main element that probably really build the Espace community, because no one feels threatened.
It's a
in this
neutral
situation.
space.
It's a very
Definitely.
neutral environment,
Yeah.
and I want to use my platform and resources to help everybody. Like you guys teach there, like whenever you guys offer a class and stuff, I'm always providing the maximum amount of support to the teachers. It goes to everybody
Yeah.
who comes to teach. I think it's important for independent teachers that they have a place that they can build their business. Maybe eventually they grow out of the space that we offer. However, to begin, it's not that easy. To own your own studio versus like just renting the space as you need it. Totally different.
Oh yeah.
Different business model and different cost structure, right? So I want to provide a space for independent dance instructors. So I made the decision of not offering any classes, because I don't want people to feel like, okay, she's there and she owns the place and she just offers the class and competing against me with my clients, right?
Yeah.
So that was
Different, yeah.
yeah, that was like a very clear to me right at the very beginning. So I don't have idea for most of things, but I have some idea.
And it worked. I think that
It does.
It's definitely
I
a
really
place
feel,
where we,
people don't feel, I think most of the teachers who come here, they feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
And they feel very supported with their business. And even for their competitors, sharing the space, I don't feel, correct me if I'm wrong,
I
because
don't
Ame,
feel
you teach
either.
with the
Yeah,
Suave,
so-
Yeah.
like I don't feel that like tension between even competing classes. I feel like people genuinely
complete.
share the space.
Yeah.
And as a community, I think there's quite some cross promo happening as well. Let's say people would come for your bachata lessons and then they see twerking class, I don't know, Gabriella's class, or they see like the rollerblading
Or the salsa
class
with
or
Edson.
They're like, oh, I'm interested. Vice versa, because I think that's the most fun part about Espace
Yeah.
is the
There's so many things to do,
Versatility.
like
it just like
the
you know,
rollerblades.
yeah, I wanted to take rollerblades
I love
classes.
that.
there's so many cool stuff. Like I didn't know like some of the stuff that even existed, and they have like a huge community.
Yes.
And the same as Southside, congresses, performances, and stuff. So it like opened up my eye. Also, it was like a really interesting to have that space. So kind of like urban dance center type of vibe.
Yeah.
So this is one thing. And then with the events itself, like I was literally thinking to put my space out for rent to gain extra revenues to support my dance studio, basically. And then we got a lot of requests from all kinds of events. At the time, I didn't organize my own, but it was more like we had the rave party, we had the birthday events, we had corporate party. So it turned out to be a very demanded space.
Okay.
Because in downtown Montreal, apparently, apart from hotels, there's not much space, not many space available for this kind of purpose.
With co-checks.
With everything, because
with
our is
bar.
pretty turnkey. We have like a sound system is already there. We have furniture, so there's not much. If you want to run a party, you can pretty much just show up. In the beginning, we struggled a little bit with alcohol license because we didn't have alcohol license, and every event organizer has to get their own
Okay.
permis de réunion, which can become like a very problematic. Some people find out last minute they didn't have the permit, and
Oh yeah.
and it becomes like a bit hard to control that either. So finally, we went to get our own permit and then made that just like one more thing off the list for people. So if you want to run your party, don't worry about it. There is bar license, whether you use it or not use it, but it's there. You don't have to go through a process and have
To
your
get
put your event at risk at the the approval of a permit.
Yeah.
Because it's like at the régie, they don't have a standard, like they can just disapproval, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and especially downtown.
We had many clients in the beginning of Espace. We had several clients that was really screwed because of that.
Okay.
They have a huge production. In the end, they have no alcohol license.
It mess everything up.
Yeah, it messes up, and then it's not good for them. And they run the event or they not run the event? It's like they already sold tickets, they hired talent, and 2 days before, have a permit. So with us, what's easy is like, at least we provide all that solutions to the client, and which resulted in like a pretty good business for us. I thought it was going to be probably a 10% of my business, but now it's like equal part of dance studio and the event. So it become much more important than I thought.
Awesome.
And Baila con Gusto.
Gusto, come to Gusto.
How did it started?
And the name, we want to hear about the name as well, because
don't
a lot
know
of
if you
people
know.
don't
We
know.
know.
We know.
A lot
about
of
the
people
name.
don't know.
But a lot of people don't
Yeah,
know.
I have this friend called Gustavo.
From
Shout
Toronto.
out Toronto.
Hello,
Shout out to Gustavo. Yeah, it's your fault. So we become very good friends through dancing again. Yeah, how did we start that conversation? He actually he had a party called Baila con Gusto
in
in Toronto. So
Yes.
that party was very popular, but he does it. It's not a regular event. Was just he's a
promoter.
Production.
Yeah.
Like he has like some DJs, and his brother is a graphic designer. So I kind of like the overall look of the event.
Was it in a bar or
Was in the bar? Yeah, I mean they organize from time to time. It still exists actually. Baila con Gusto is still there. They still organize event from time to time. And Gustavo, by the way, is like a full-time promoter for Latin event. I think he has a restaurant.
Nice.
Yeah, is doing parties there, restaurant club kind of thing. So I'm making tacos. Next time you guys go, you gotta go check him out.
Of course.
So yeah, we just talk about this event. At the time, we thought about doing an event one time, and then we did it, and then we're like,
successful.
maybe we do. And it was a Thursday, right? We started the first Gusto event on Thursday.
It was a personal decision. It was like you decided, let's do this on a Thursday.
Yeah, it was because the weekend market, I feel it was always very crowded, especially in Montreal. Like Montreal dancers were so spoiled, to be honest. Like we have so many options. So shout out to all the event organizers that you guys are working really hard to make the scene the best scene in North America. But for the audience, for the crowd, we're also very, very lucky in Montreal. The weekend, you have so many, any given day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have multiple options. And I don't think people know how lucky they are. In a lot of cities, they probably have like this kind of thing, one event per week, that is a good event. But Montreal, we have many events that are equally cool, cater to different audience. So I just feel like the weekend market is very crowded. And also on my side, my space rental business is more on weekend.
Yes.
So I did it makes sense for me not to
Use that
spot because my weekend is always rented anyways. So I just like, okay, let's do a Thursday event, which is I've been going to Thursday events and
It works.
Yeah, so I think it's always a tricky decision to do some parties on the weekdays. I even think like Gusto is very lucky that we're able to maintain that level of participation for over 10 years. This almost like, I don't think exist that much all in the world, even like to have a weekly social on weekdays that attracts on average like 350 to 450 people every week.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy. It's like a congress. Like
Yeah.
I mean, like we really got lucky in the sense that people are willing to come out on the weekday. I would say it's a bit counterintuitive because most people still work on Friday.
I think it's more than luck. I think there's like key ingredients in your strategy, and that's the reason why people like Baila con Gusto so much. So
Well,
can you tell us a little
First,
bit
I
more?
appreciate love. Like I do say it lucky because sometimes hard work don't always pay off. But I think Baila con Gusto is one of those projects that yes, we put a lot of work, but the community really appreciate it. So when I think about Baila con Gusto project, I'm just really happy, and I do feel extremely privileged to be able to provide a stage for local talent that we showcase. The local dancers, not necessarily professional, but many students, amateurs, in different genres. We've had salsa bachata, we've had West Coast swing, tango, we've had the Turk, we have pole dancing, we have hip hop, we have
rollerblades.
Rollerblades, like all these
Great.
stuff that like people probably don't see on every day, but it's all part of the community. So I think people just feel that they belong there. I think that's what makes it successful. Maybe I'm wrong, so let me know if I'm. In terms of the formula, there is no secret formula. I don't claim the Gusto formula as my own. I think it's we copied from somebody else, from congresses, festivals. It's basically dance,
But
DJ.
it has something special, like the ambience. That's what it's making special with the staff and the music and the lights. I don't know. It's just there's something that just makes us go.
I would say something that probably I would say it's very simple. It's like we actually care about it.
And
So-
you're there. You're always there.
And it's pretty much just that. It's not just an event for me. It's like it's my time to basically connect with people, with the community. Also, I just enjoy, like, honestly, me as a guest, I enjoy being there. We have like really cool staff. We have a nice bartender, even though Roman looks mad, but he's super cool,
He's
makes
super
good
sweet.
drinks. Yeah, it's like
character.
he's a sweetie inside, but outside, I don't want to comment, but we get him, This
We
is like,
get you.
yeah.
We get you.
And then Allison, of course, everybody loves Allison. And Martin's the person who makes everything run, so he's not talkative. You probably don't know, but
We see him
without
running.
him, nothing would work. There'll be no lights, no sound, no stage, nothing. And Martin loves what he's passionate about is to bring the best equipment to Espace des Arts. So all of things that makes you feel good.
the little details.
There's
Yeah.
probably a lot of attention behind it. We just changed all our sound system completely.
Wow. And we saw the new, like, how you say, projector?
projector
Projector,
that just gives a
way.
new vibe. I
Yeah.
love it.
All the speakers are brand new, subwoofer brand new. So, everything just, you come together because we cared. I could have
Makes
used the
sense.
old speaker that doesn't sound very good for another 5 years.
Yeah.
But we decided, no, I decided. I actually didn't decide. Martin decided. Yeah. I
But
didn't
it
get to
makes-
decide on that one, but he decided, okay, to bring the best quality of sound, which I think everyone appreciates.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's a major difference between a dance studio party and a club party. The club, the sound's so good. It's immersive. The sound is immersive. What we're doing here. We just love music. Most people just, even if they're not professional dancer or high-level dancer, they're just happy to be there and listen to the music.
Feel
So
the
this
music,
is like so crucial. So
The sound is what makes us dance. So
of course,
this is like
that's
the
what
base.
brings all the chemicals
Yeah.
in your body running. That's what
Exactly.
makes you happy. Like if
But the quality of sound is often overlooked. But you're right to mention
I
it.
just don't think people really think about that. So for whoever want to copy us, go invest in your
And
sound.
something
That's
that-
a tip.
Something that I noticed too is the lights. Example, Baila con Gusto has a color of lights. And now that I want to talk to the next event,
social.
social that
Yeah.
you do, it's
The
La
La
Onda.
Onda.
La Onda has a different color. So even though it's still at Espace, I feel different. I feel a different vibe. And it's not because it's a Thursday and a Saturday, but it's just,
Identity.
I'm just happy you actually noticed because I find those
Oh,
things
yeah.
sometimes goes unnoticed, but we definitely try to create different identity. We want people to feel, relate to
Yes.
that. So, the bachata room is always red. Salsa room is always orange. Chiquizomba room is always blue. So people probably don't see that. And it goes into our logo too. So it's
Yeah,
like everything is like all the
mix.
subtle details that we put into it. La Onda is green.
It's green.
Because we want that very friendly, vibrant, chill vibe. Like, more family oriented, like it's more a daytime thing, So that was we decided, okay, green is a good color for that. It's very calming.
Yeah, and La Onda is for Saturday 4 to 8. There's a class.
in the afternoon.
So
Yeah.
and I know you want to bring this
families.
more
Yeah.
families, guys. If you
That's
have
my
family,
attempt. So all the
Yes.
dance families out there, I'm still waiting for you guys to come together, not one at a time. All of us. I know how it is to be a parent. Like, honestly, once you become a parent, all your passion, your interests, things that used to be so important to your life, you have to put them as a secondary. Yeah. So La Onda, it was in my vision, I wanted to create a family event. Because I know, in my group, on Facebook, I created this book with all the friends that I used to have who have kids recently. I have 70 people in that group.
wow.
Wow,
So
okay.
those are like OG dancers.
OG dancers,
that have
or
a
like
family.
not so OG, but newer generation, but happen to have children, or young kids. So I just feel that, we once the children is there, like we can't help ourselves but to put our needs and wants as a secondary. And I want to use La Onda as
Point de
a
rencontre.
point of rencontre,
Yes.
So to come find a little piece of yourself back, and without ditching your children.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, we feel bad at ditching our children.
And it
yeah.
will be like a second Dahomey, but next generation.
Next
When
generation. And
everybody...
it's, that vibe, like a La Onda vibe is like a super chill. So it's not a club vibe like a Gusto. So, the parents, they can have one drink, let's say one drink to make yourself feel alive. Sometimes we just need that one. And then the children can be there, dance with you, or you can dance with your children. So so far, I haven't really been successful by bringing out the families. I'm trying some new strategies because I think I understand the how busy people can be, and it's not really by our choice sometimes. However, I do think we need something like that. And people our generation, including you guys, you're gonna have children at some point. What are you gonna do? You're gonna all stop dancing? Because I think it's a very hard thing to swallow, to say,
Yeah.
okay, I stop dancing. And it's something that, for me, I cannot stop. I really cannot. And that's when I dance now, even so much little less than before. And it still is what makes me the happiest. And I feel like I have myself to myself. I'm not just a mom.
Yeah.
Or you know, like I can escape a little bit from the responsibility, even though I'm a super responsible person. However, it just helps you to make the days easier if you can give yourself a little bit of a break. So La Onda is really something in my heart. I wanted to do something for that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
If you can bring like your passion
I
and
would,
your kids
I know. I want to
together.
see more families join.
I think
You
the
know?
concept makes total sense, and I think a lot of people hearing that will say like, yeah, it makes sense. I think you're still like trying to find the way to
yes,
do it, but maybe in 5 years we're like, oh yeah,
I've
that's
never
normal now.
heard anyone to say it's not a good idea. But the whole thing is between a good idea and and the reality, two different things.
Yeah.
So now I'm still trying to bridge
Yeah.
the gap and see what would really make that vision come alive.
Totally. And if our viewers have
suggestions?
ideas, suggestions,
let me know.
Please reach out.
you can
what
reach
makes
out
you
Dom.
to, you know, join us, because I actually did a party, like a bring your own baby party,
Yeah, I
a
remember.
few years ago. It was a very big success, and it was like incredible ambience. But I just want to recreate something like that on a more regular basis.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah.
Good.
Let's hope we can make it.
Interesting.
Awesome.
So is there, maybe to, wrap this up, is there anything like in your future plans and your like next actions that you can tell us about? Maybe like future projects related to Espace or socials or anything?
Trying to keep the current projects.
Of course. Yeah, those ones are already.
working. And that's one thing. Consistency, I would say, to wrap it up. If people want to have a takeaway from this conversation and to say, what's the most important element in any sort of success, I would say consistency. And don't think too much, don't stress too much about the meaning in the beginning. Just follow your vision.
Intuition.
Yeah,
you mentioned.
and just do it. You'll find out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Dom.
much, Dom.
That was
Girls.
amazing.
Like we could forever talk.
We definitely want a part 2 eventually.
Next episode.
There's so much to talk still, but thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much. And
coming.
if people
for
want to
having me.
contact you, of course, you are on Instagram, Facebook. We can
There's-
also...
We can contact you at Baila con Gusto or at
Espace,
Espace or on your personal account. We
Of
can
course.
put it.
We'll put it in the comments if you agree. So people, if you have suggestion for Dom or like good comments also, because you worked so hard for all of this, and I think all the community
Thank you
thank
a
you
lot.
for that.
Oh.
Yes.
Don't thank me, just come party.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the best thank you.
And of course, if you have any other suggestion, maybe like a part 2 suggestion, question for Dom, you can also reach us.
Yeah. At liberame.dance.
Yay, our Instagram, and we'll answer. And if you're even interested to be a guest, don't be shy to mention it.
Nominate a guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for, again, clicking on our video and listening to us. And thank you, Dom, again.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dom.
girls.
See you on the next episode.
Bye.